Have you ever booked a trip knowing it's going to be sunny as hell and it's going to blind you, and you're like me and you forgot your sunglasses? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
No, I'm laughing.
Talking about steps, like we got some solutions.
We have 4 points or 3 points? Tell me that.
I got all of them from Ty Lopez. Pick a country, and when you pick that destination... Yeah. So there's so many aspects of planning a trip that we want to share with you. There's so many aspects that go into planning a trip, so we're going to touch on a few things on how we plan our trips to Europe.
We definitely don't recommend going to Europe for like 3 weeks and seeing 10 countries. That's so tiring. No. We don't recommend it because we wouldn't want to get that tired. We love our home. We love coming back home. Yeah. We miss our home when we're gone. And when we're here, we miss traveling. So what we also recommend is picking a destination that you've always wanted to see. Obviously, everybody kind of goes towards that. Yeah. Sometimes that's not possible. So you have to be kind of flexible. For example, we wanted to go see the Mont Blanc mountains in France. And it was just too expensive and the weather was rainy. So what I did was I looked at the neighboring countries. I looked at Spain. Going to Spain was like one way. It was the fastest and the most affordable way to get kind of close to France. But we found beautiful mountains on the west side, so we just drove from Barcelona and we saw what we wanted to see. So pick your destinations, look at Google Maps and kind of see what's around there, and bundle up your trips in a way where you can see different areas. That's fine.
I know.
At least I'm moving your shoulders.
I can't do anything, man. Yeah, and having that flexibility oftentimes can help you stay on budget. Because sometimes if you really want to see a place, maybe it's just the high season, or at that time it's just more expensive. But if you're flexible, you can obviously go to another place that's going to keep you on budget and you still get to travel at the same time.
So picking your first base, like your home base, is important. Sometimes you can pick the place for the full trip and it's maybe $200 extra to go and have a hotel where you leave your stuff and go to other places, and we think that's worth it to do if the pricing is affordable for you. But other times it's expensive, so if we, let's say, go to Barcelona and we want to be there for 3-4 days, then we book the hotel for 3-4 days. But if we see that if we book it for the whole 12 days it's $200 extra, then we do that, so we have a home base where we leave our stuff and go to other places.
That's just a pro tip from Tina.
For example, if you fly into Rome and you want to go to northern Italy, you can definitely do that. But we wouldn't recommend coming back to Rome and going to south of Italy as well on the same trip.
It's like you're spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend most of your time like in a vehicle or in a train, whatever kind of transportation you take. That's why we say like pick a base and then have like a second place, but it's just like 1 and 2. And then you explore around each of those areas so that you're getting the full experience of that region. That's the reason why we've been to Italy so many times, you know?
There's so much to see.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much to see and we haven't seen it all.
It's actually one of our favorite countries.
Yeah, and Italy actually has really good prices on flights most of the time. Like you can find somewhere in Italy to fly to non-stop that's relatively decently priced.
Yes. So our advice is to pick a place and go to one area of the country rather than kind of all over it or different countries. That's just too much. It can make you really tired.
These are all things that you have to consider. So when you're booking your trip, especially multiple places, you have to look at the overall picture before you book the trip.
For sure. Give yourself 1 extra day for the last day before your flight home, so you're not rushing back, and you get that 1 extra day back at your home base where you can go back to your favorite places.
Yeah, and we will say like this is literally like what works for us.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like this is the best way to travel or it's the right way. This is what works for us, and maybe it'll work for you.
Yeah. So let us know actually in the comments below if you would like to see another video where we would tell you where we go, which areas of Europe we go, and how we bundle up like the cities. So actually transportation is so important. You were talking about transportation.
Yeah.
We've done driving, we've taken a train, like the fast train. We fly to different places as well.
Yeah, so that's the transportation that we take to our second destination. But yeah, transportation is important. You got to consider the fact that if you're going from one place to another, you want to think about what's the fastest way to get there. The thing you don't want to do on a trip is waste more time traveling. So that comes into like part of your planning when I say looking at the overall picture, because if it's going to be too long to drive or take a train, but the fastest way is to take a flight, but the flight's going to put you over your budget, then maybe that trip isn't going to be for you, right? That could be
the second destination. Don't choose that.
Yeah, don't choose that, or maybe just that trip's not going to work out, and then you can find another place where maybe you can hit two destinations because either it's easy to drive to or the flight's going to be affordable. Right?
The good thing about Europe is you can drive to different places. Like maybe it's 3 hours away and it's so different from the place that you're at. So
yeah, it's so diverse. You can get so much out of it, right?
So for example, we drove to Amalfi from Rome because it took us 3 hours to get there. We didn't want to take a train because we had our luggage. We didn't have a home base for the whole time we were traveling. So we put all our luggage in the car, and I don't get to drive. James drives, which is really nice. So I get to relax. But you can kind of choose what's best for the destination that you're going. And we knew that before we booked our trip to Rome.
Having a car is so clutch when you're traveling.
Yeah.
You can just see everything. You can stop and just chill, and you see like a nice outlook, and you just like sit there and, you know, who cares if you're 2 hours late to your
next destination?
Yeah, your next destination. You're checking.
It's your schedule.
Yeah, you have no time. You have no like solid itinerary. It's just
for sure
whatever you want to see, you get to do.
Yeah, for sure. It's important for you to do your research beforehand. So what I do is I figure out maybe 2-3 different hotels that I like after I kind of read the reviews. And James helps me with this. We kind of pick the hotels together. I look at the walking distance between this hotel and, let's say, the city center of where I want to be. And I try to choose one that's the closest or something that's kind of in the middle of everything.
Yeah, she always picks it in places that are like of interest to us. If you like nightlife, stay near a place where there's lots of clubs, so you don't have to Uber back.
So pick a place in that city where it's close to the areas you want to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So the last point that we want to touch on is
James's
research.
favorite.
Yeah, man. Research food. Food can just kill your trip if you're eating trash food.
Yeah. Even if you're eating mediocre food, why are you in that certain country eating mediocre food? You know?
Yeah, like treat yourself, ball out a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
One example I can give you is like when the first time we went to Rome, we took a train to Venice. All right, we had like 6 to 8 hours there, and all the food we ate, like we didn't do any research when we went there. All the food we ate was like so bad. Like the carbonara looked like cat food. We ended up actually eating Burger King for dinner on our way back because we were just so skeptical about all the other meals.
Yeah.
So after that, my experience of Venice was like, Venice sucks. There's no good food there.
James is very black and white. Me, I was like, there is another chance.
Yeah, so Tina gave it another chance and we went back and we realized that we actually did research and we realized that all the good food is in the hospital area, right? All the traditional food, like the locals eat and it's non-touristy, is all there.
Yeah, it's important to do your research beforehand and don't leave it for, I'll just do it when I'm there.
Don't do that. You waste so much time and it's hard. When you're researching your food, Google, Yelp, TripAdvisor, and
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Use these sites to review food.
Yeah. And you have the apps on you. Many people have these apps on their phones, right?
They're clutch. I would say when you ask a local though, check the restaurant out, like check the reviews out online too. Just so you don't like go in there blind and have a really bad meal. Because, you know, we've had it before. I felt like some guys were just like, yo, go here. And it was like not good.
Or it could be that the hotel has a relationship with the restaurant and they're kind of helping each other out.
Exactly. And
that happened to us in Portugal. We had really bad food, and when we came back to our hotel, the receptionist was like, "How was the food?" We're like, "It was okay." He's like, "Oh, it was so sad."
It was actually so bad.
It was disgusting.
Maybe it was what we ordered, but
maybe.
It was disgusting.
It was disgusting. Disgusting.
So that's it for this video. We got lots coming your way. If you liked it, subscribe. Hit us up in the comments if you have any questions. We want to hear from you guys what you guys want to hear from us.
Yeah.
So
if you don't tell us, then we'll be sad and we won't make videos.
Yeah.
Psych!
See you next time, guys.
Bye. Peace out. Take care, bud.